Hey everyone, Julian here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make drums like Burial. Now, to go along with this video, I've actually put together a little bit of a sample pack. We've got a bunch of hi-hats, a bunch of kicks, some rim shots, some cool percussion, and yeah, all you have to do to get this sample pack, as well as the project file from this video so you can use this beat, is just follow me on Instagram. It's the first link in the description, and DM me and I will send you the pack. If you're already following me, just DM me and I'll send you the pack as well. And yeah, let's dive in. So this is what we're going to be making today. So, I'm just going to be going through layer by layer and showing you how I made this. The first layer is this kick. So the way I made this was, I took this kick from the pack, which as you can hear, was a little bit more like noisy, like it didn't have as strong of an impact, it didn't really like hit the way that this one does. And I just took it, and I didn't do any actual processing outside of a simpler tool, but I did a lot of stuff inside of the simpler. So the first thing I did here was, well, I pitched it down, so I'll turn everything off and you can kind of hear what that sounds like. So I pitched it down, and then I added this amp envelope. So I made it more like, I kind of shaped it a little bit more. Like I used the sustain and decay to make it more of a hit. And as you can hear already, this has more of a kick kind of sound to it. But then after that, I added this pitch envelope. So if you don't know what a pitch envelope is, it's essentially an envelope that modulates the pitch of a sound, But what it does is, like, over time, you can control the pitch of the sample. So what I did with this one was, I put it up quite a bit. And as you can see, I have a really short decay here and no sustain. And we're using it to just give it that, like, kind of hit at the start of the sound. You can hear here's before, and then after. It gives it that kind of like nice, earthy, percussive, organic sound. So then after that, the only other thing I did was I added this low pass filter, just to cut out some high end and clean it up a little bit. The thing is like this without the filter sounds cool, but it's a little bit too like bright, and I don't want to say sharp, but mostly bright for it to fit into like this kind of mix, like with this kind of track. So yeah, I just added that to sort of cut it off a little bit. So the next thing I have here is a rim shot, which sounds like this. And the way I made this was, I took this sample from the pack, and as you can see, I shortened it quite a bit. I added a fade, I added a low pass filter, so same thing there as with the kick. It just kind of like took off some of that high end and sort of like fit it into this mix a little bit better. And then after that, I just have a utility on there converting it to mono, because if you listen, you can hear there's a little bit of weird stereo stuff going on there. And it's just because the original sample had reverb on it. So that transient, it kind of sounds right when you listen to it with all the reverb, but then when you take away all the reverb, it sounds weird. So yeah, I just have utility on there. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Now, the only thing I will say about that is, it's important to note, the utility is important here. Whenever you want a sound to be impactful, or like hit hard, like in this case, this rim shot, we want it to really, you know, cut through. It's always going to sound more powerful in mono, so that's why I converted it to mono. So the next thing I have here is this hi-hat. Pretty simple. It's just playing this pattern. You can see I have these little 16th notes. Some of them are off the grid. And I have those also, the velocity is turned down a little bit. And yeah, I'm just using this sample that's from the pack. I will show it to you. Yeah, this is the original sample. So already it pretty much had that vibe, and I just took it and put it in here, gave it that pattern, and then I put a little low pass filter on it. Again, same thing as the kick and the rim, just kind of like filters out some of that high end, cleans it up a little bit, and sort of like puts it in the world of this mix. So the next layer is this vinyl crackle, which sounds like this. And yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Anybody who knows anything about making music like Burial, you know the vinyl crackle samples in the background are very, very important. So I just have this one in there, and it's just sort of like, yeah, giving some atmosphere to the overall track. So the next layer is this percussion, which sounds like this. So on its own, this sounds kind of strange, I know, but when you listen to it in the full mix, you can hear what it's doing is it's helping the flow of the beat, and it's just kind of sort of hanging out in the background there, and like it just makes it more fluid. Like if you listen to it with and then without, it doesn't quite like flow as well. And then when you add this, it really, like I said, just keeps it like moving forward. Like it really helps make this beat more fluid. So the way I made this was I took this sound from the sample pack. And yeah, pretty simple. Just put it in there, and I looped it over and over again. And then I added this high-pass filter because there was a little bit of weird low end in the original sample. And yeah, pretty straightforward. So the next layer I have here is this percussion, and it kind of goes hand in hand with this one. So the point of these two percussion layers are just to add a little bit of extra sort of punctuation to the beat. If you think of this as like, like writing a sentence is like, okay, so you have your main sentence, right? Like you have, your sort of like your point and the main words. And then like maybe you add, a little bit of extra stuff like for kind of flavor. Like let's say these two layers are sort of like the adjectives, I guess, that like more accentuate what you're saying, and then these layers would be, like I said, like the punctuation. These are the ones that really sort of like transition everything and just put everything together nicely and really help to keep the beat kind of like grooving. So you can hear I just have these different percussion samples that I got again from the sample pack. You can hear some of them. And yeah, they're pretty straightforward. I mean, I just sort of put them in here in this way that like fit the rhythm of everything else. And again, they just accentuate everything. When I turn them off, I guess it kind of works, but these really like add a lot of extra atmosphere, I think, and just sort of help with the loop in general. So the last layer I have here is this 808, which sounds like this. Yeah, pretty straightforward. I just took this 808 and I put it in the beat. I put it under this little percussion sound. This is something I hear Burial doing a lot. I think it really helps because this music is really bass heavy and really dark sounding. So it helps to like, even if you have a part, like say this was a song and we had a little like 4 or even like 8-bar part like this where it was just the beat. It helps to have stuff like this because it just sort of grounds it and gives it some low end and like, yeah, just really helps to build the beat up and make it really fill up the frequency spectrum. So that's gonna be it for today, guys. Like I said, if you want to get the sample pack from this video with all these different samples and this project file so you can use this beat, you can literally use it in a track. Like make a song out of this. That's perfectly fine. Like I said, all you gotta do is just follow me on Instagram and DM me and I will send it right to you. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. Make sure to let me know what you think of this video in the comments, as well as subscribe. Maybe even share the video if it really helped you out. And I will see you guys again tomorrow with another tutorial.